that this government inherited from the previous government. It is on record that BEC registration. Mr. Speaker, during the last parliament, you will remember that as a member of the Education Committee, we had to speak before funds were released to West African Examinations Council to organize the BEC. There was even a time in 2024 that WAEC was going to postpone the conduct of the BEC. But, Mr. Speaker, but for the intervention of the Education Committee and Parliament, we were able to avert that disaster. So going forward, Mr. Speaker, I can say on authority that government does not owe WAEC on the payment of BEC registration. So also is that of WASE. So also is for the senior high school examination, which we call WASE. There is a dedicated funding for WASE this time, and GETFund is responsible for it. And as we speak, payment has been made for the 2026 WASE. What again do we need? So we want to assure Ghanaians that after education, everything is on course. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the basic level again, there is expansion in the school feeding program. It is on record that before this government took office, the school feeding program was bedeviled with corruption. I can say on authority again that, Mr. Speaker, in my constituency, a school which had 120 enrollments, records show that it had 270 students being fed under the school feeding program. And that was across the district, and I am sure it was also across the entire country. Mr. Speaker, by eliminating those corrupt practices, more pupils are now enjoying the school feeding program with even quality food, because with the increment in the feeding fee and also making sure that locally produced foods are used in feeding the students, the nutrition level has gone up very much. Mr. Speaker, furniture has been the major problem facing basic schools in this country. You will go to some schools and you will realize that students lie on the floor to write. I can tell you that, Mr. Speaker, government is taking efforts to eliminate this canker in our basic schools. So we need to thank His Excellency the President for making sure that allocation of about 200 million from GETFund is going to be used for the construction or provision of furniture for basic schools, and that this assembly is also going to make sure that 10% of their funds are used to procure furniture for basic schools. And we are going forward. Mr. Speaker, yesterday one member made a comment on the licensure examination at from the other side about licensure examination. The promise government made, or the NDC made, was that they were going to, or were going to make it part of the curriculum for colleges of education. So those who left colleges already would have to take the examination, because they will not go back to college, study under the curriculum, and then write the examination. So until that is done, they must write the examination so that they can get the license to be employed as teachers. So I want to correct that misrepresentation by the other member from the other side, that we promised that we will eliminate licensure examination, but we have not done it. This is the truth on the matter.
Deputy Speaker will take the chair.
Mr. Speaker, if you come to allowances for colleges of education students, government has directed that the payment of the allowances should be regulated. What it means is that it's now being paid directly by the Controller and Accountant General Department. So everything, not that there will be students will be paid on the table or money is paid to anybody to be given to students. Now they are on government payroll, and that is what is being done now for students of colleges of education. So as soon as workers receive their salaries, students also receive their allowances as well. They will not have to wait for 3-4 months, and even the allowances will not come. So the system has changed, and students are receiving their allowances through Controller and Accountant General Department. Mr. Speaker, the President also announced that new universities will be created in the newly established regions of the country. So at least 5 universities are going to be established, 3 technical universities and 2 other universities, to make sure that qualified students can gain admission to universities going forward. What is important is that, Mr. Speaker, we all need to support His Excellency the President so that he can achieve his objectives for education in this country. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Let me now turn to Honorable Dr. Ayew Afriyie. Honorable, you are ranking. You have 10 minutes.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I rise to comment on the State of the Nation's address. Mr. Speaker, before I do so, I would want us to put some figures into perspective. It will be in the form of correction, but the HANZA department, I'm ready to give after this presentation the balanced position of the NHIA, and I want it to be captured so there's no politics on social health insurance financing in this country. Mr. Speaker, in the presentation of the President, indeed, I would want to quote Mr. Speaker, the President stated that, and I quote, claims payments are now timed with facilities no longer waiting more than half a year for payments. Mr. Speaker, there has not been delays in payments, and there is no day that was inherited by the new government since 2025. Mr. Speaker, as of 7 January 2025, the NHIA had a positive balance of 1 billion. Mr. Speaker, as of then, they had paid providers up to October. Conventionally, Mr. Speaker, providers would wait up to 3 months before claims are paid. Mr. Speaker, as based upon this convention, as of January 7th, all payments of providers in this country, October, has been done. Now, it was for them to submit November, and that would take processing of December, January, and for them to pay in February. Mr. Speaker, so I don't know why the President made this statement. And it must be put right that as of January 7, there was no delays in provider payments in this country. Again, the NHI inherited a positive balance of 1 billion. And that is what they used to pay claims of November, December, January, and February. Mr. Speaker, payments are roughly about 220 million. So when you calculate payments of 220 million for 4 months, all the payments the NDC did last year for November, December, January, February were monies that they inherited in the positive balance of the NHIA. And I am going to tender in the balanced position of the NHIA as of January 31st, 2025, so that we kill this mischief once and for all. You did not inherit a poor position from the NHIA, and there were no delays in provider payments. Again, Mr. Speaker, another terrible blunder, again, that if it's not corrected, it sends pain to the heart of the many youths who have not been employed, and that of the son and daughter of the cocoa farmer who has not been employed as well. Mr. Speaker, the President again in his statement stated that, and I would want to quote, At the beginning of 2025, 103,000 trained health workers were still awaiting placements, employment, or enrollment on the payroll. Over the past year, 13,500 nurses and midwives, along with hundreds of doctors and pharmacists, were absorbed. Mr. Speaker, these 13,500 recruits were inherited by a clearance that was issued by the MPP government. It was not even 13,500. Mr. Speaker, it was 15,400. Again, I will tender the document for the purpose of this House and for the Hansa Department to capture. You inherited a clearance of 15,400 and you decide to put them on the payroll. However, Ghanaians listening to me, I would want you to know that the taxpayer, and of course that of the cocoa farmer, your child was not employed in 2025. Neither did they make any allocation in the budget to employ nurses and allied health workers for 2026, and that is shameful. Mr. Speaker, all the nurses and the pharmacists and the allied workers and medical laboratory technicians who are at home, hear me out. This government did not make a budget for you in 2025, neither have they made a budget for you in 2026. Mr. Speaker, just as the cocoa farmer is struggling, and cocoa farmer for Omaye Mabo, Mr. Speaker, Omaye Mabo. Yeah, Mr. So, me a cocoa farmer, Maya Mabo, to wait, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, please.
Mr. Speaker, to wait.
The heckle
I am
is too much.
sensitive on the issues of cocoa farmers.
Honorable members.
Because, Mr. Speaker, the name AU is a Mampo Ekweapim name, which was that of my great-grandfather who commercialized cocoa farming. Before the onset of Cocoa Board, Opeyeyu was the one who was the chairman of the Cocoa Farmers Union of Ghana, who always sent cocoa to England to buy and came to pay. So I am a bona fide, a loyalist, and a protege or a descendant of a great cocoa farmer, Opeyeyu of Mampo Ekweapim. Mr. Speaker, I'm not happy the way they are treating cocoa farmers. And the cocoa farmers' children are either not being employed. Many of them are nurses. Mr. Speaker, as I speak, last year, the nurses who were not employed, the new ones, were 20,000. Mr. Speaker, those of 2025 will complete their licensure in June, and there will be another 20,000. Mr. Speaker, normally, all these new ones are about 20,000. So the more the NDC refused to bring a supplementary budget that would inherit and clear all these people, this backlog, there will be every year 20 more thousand of nursing people being produced. Mr. Speaker, where are we going as a country? Where are we going as a country? We are putting pains in the heart of the Ghanaian nurses. Mr. Speaker, I have not even spoken about pharmacists. There are over 20,000 pharmacists and they churn almost about 8,000 each year. There was no clearance for them. But before last year, each year, they were all being employed. But it was a backlog. Mr. Speaker, it was a backlog. Mr. Speaker, as of last year, as of 2024, the NPP government employed those of 2020. Mr. Speaker, 2020. So as of 2025, they should have employed the 2021. And that will not be only nurses, pharmacists, medical laboratory, physiotherapists, and all of them. Mr. Speaker, there's no future, there's no hope for this youth. Each and every one of you listening to me, your family, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, all of them, since last year, there is no recruitment. The politics here is using the MPP's clearance of 2024. Although they were putting them on that payroll because the money was sitting there, they give the impression that they were being recruited. There was no recruitment in 2025, and there is no recruitment in 2026. Mr. Speaker, the supplementary budget of this government should include that of nurses and allied health workers. For once, listen and hear them out. Mr. Speaker, today, Joseph Opata, who is the president of the nurses who failed, there are about 6,000 of them who failed in 2020, and they were to be employed. Mr. Speaker, today, he is selling aboboya and repairing it. My fear is this: many of these skilled workers, when they stay home for long, they lose their skills. They lose their skills, and that is the problem. So are you going to be quiet so we train 20,000 of nurses every year, and they sit home engaging themselves as of? So here, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the statement, it says we inherited, it's not true, we inherited 103,000. Mr. Speaker, they did inherited only about 60,000. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, source is clear. Mr. Speaker, 60,000. They inherited 60,000, and this were this. 20,000 of 2021, 20,000 of 2022, 20,000 of 2023. Today, they have added 20,000 of 2024, 20,000 of 2025. And you sit there. In June, you are going to add another 20,000, which means that in 2 years,
Thank you, Dr. Ayu. Thank you, Dr. Ayu. You've been bailed out. So let me now turn to Honorable James Agaga.
Thank you, Mr.
James,
Speaker.
you are the chairman of a committee, and therefore you have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Dr. Ishmael Norman, a renowned security analyst and a disaster management expert, when called upon to assess the performance of President Mahama vis-à-vis the performance of President Akufo-Addo in his last 2 years in government, scored as follows. President Mahama, 7.5 over 10. President Akufo-Addo, 1.2 over 10. Mr. Speaker, Dr. Ishmael Norman, in arriving at his conclusion,
See, immediately you came out with that figures, Reverend just popping.
So, Mr. Speaker, 7.5 over 10 versus 1.2 over 10. Those were the scores of Dr. Ishmael Norman. Now, who is Dr. Ishmael Norman? He's neither NPP nor NDC. In fact, if Reverend Intim Fojo had been asked to score President Akufo-Addo, one would say he's NPP and therefore would be biased. Mr. Speaker, in similar light, if you were to ask Agalga to score President Mahama and I scored him, you'd say because I am NDC, I am being biased. But Dr. Ishmael Norman is a professional par excellence, well respected. Those were the scores. So I proceed on the premises of Dr. Ishmael Norman's scores. Mr. Speaker, President Mahama, in his message on the state of the nation, indicated that 3 brand new airports are going to be built. One would be built in Sunyani to serve the former Bono and Ahafo regions. In fact, the current airport is no longer fit for purpose. We can't expand or extend the runway. And so President Mahama has decided that we give those 2 regions a brand new airport. Similarly, the people of Upper West also deserve a brand new airport because the airport there now is not fit for purpose. When aircraft take off, Mr. Speaker, they violate Burkina Faso's airspace. So President Mahama says, let us give them a brand new airport. Mr. Speaker, my own region, when I am traveling to my constituency and land in Tamale, I have to drive for 4 hours before I get to Sandema, the capital of my constituency. President Mahama says enough of the suffering. We have endured a lot. So the Upper East for the first time would also be given a brand new airport. Now, Mr. Speaker, let me talk about security, which is my field. And Mr. Speaker, Dr. Norman made a quick scan of the security landscape in arriving at the scores that I alluded to in my earlier presentation. Now, the president spoke about CI 129, and yesterday I heard my brother, the defense minister. He knows I will respond to him. That is why he's not here today, Mr. Speaker. He made a desperate attempt to defend his record. But, Mr. Speaker, that record is simply not defensible. We were in this house when CI 129 was passed. And what is the purpose of CI 129? Mr. Speaker, it was meant to prolong the service of the other ranks from 25 years to 30 years. I recall at the time of the passage of CI 129, I spoke out extensively against it and said, look, the rationale behind the promulgation of the CI was not well thought through. Why did I say that? You are talking about a CI which envisages the enhancement of the pay, the gratuities of other ranks to the exclusion of special duty commissioned officers and officers of the armed forces. Do you now see how discriminatory that CI was? And that is why from that time onwards, 2020, we've had issues with its implementation because it is discriminatory. In fact, Article 17 of our Constitution is very clear. That is why the military high command had issues with the implementation of that particular CI, which is why President Mahama, the commander-in-chief of our armed forces, made it clear that the discriminatory character of that CI must be addressed. The issues outstanding have now been resolved, and so all the personnel of the armed forces, special duty commissioned officers, and other ranks would all be compensated in an equitable manner. And so if Dominic Nituwe were here, I would have pointed it out to him that when I warned him that they were rushing in passing the CI because of the 2020 elections, I would have told him that the chicken has now come home to roost. But Mr. Speaker, he's fled, so I would reserve further comments on that particular subject. But Mr. Speaker, let me address issues raised by my brother and ranking member, Reverend Ntim Fodjo. Reverend Ntim Fodjo says there is insecurity in our country because 8 of our compatriots were killed in Burkina Faso. Mr. Speaker, let me address my brother directly. Burkina Faso is a country with territories well defined in international law. Ghana's security apparatus cannot cross over boundaries, borders, and provide for the security of our nationals in that country. Mr. Speaker, we are not the United States of America. We are not. And so when Ghanaians, and let me extend my condolence to our compatriots, the 8 of them who lost their lives. But when Ghanaians cross borders into foreign jurisdictions, their safety and security becomes the sole responsibility of the security apparatus of that country. And so, Mr. Speaker, the point I'm making is that our security apparatus did not do anything wrong. In fact, when our compatriots died and some wounded, our security apparatus, with the cooperation of the Burkinabés, actually rescued. They did medical evacuation, and we should be commending our Air Force. The Kasa flew to Ouagadougou and brought back the wounded, some of whom are now receiving treatment at the 37 Military Hospital. So, Mr. Speaker, with the greatest of respect to my brother, the ranking member, Ntim Fodjo, our security apparatus is up to the task. We have worked to ensure that no single incident of terrorism has taken place or will take place in our country. Those are the words I have for him. With respect to the terror attacks in our waters, Mr. Speaker, pirates are pirates. They would attack. But the problem is, after the attack, we are looking at the response, the reaction of our security forces. Did we react or not? We did. In fact, there was a hot pursuit for those pirates. They were chased and they fled. Our Navy acted in coordination with our Air Force. Our fighter jets were in the sky. Our ships were on our waters. The pirates had to retreat very quickly for their dear lives. Mr. Speaker, thereafter, we were able to rescue all the affected fishermen. 71, not a single soul was lost. We should be full of commendation for our security forces, the Air Force and the Navy, which is why our president has indicated in the message on the State of the Nation that we would continue to equip and to retool the security services. The other day, Reverend Ntim Fojo indicated that when they brought an agreement before this House for the acquisition of 2 offshore patrol vessels, we opposed it. Mr. Speaker, the Hansard would bear me out. We never opposed the acquisition of the 2 offshore patrol vessels. In fact, the minister who led the agreement before this House was the same minister who withdrew it. The same minister withdrew it because he himself was concerned that we needed to do due diligence, and so he didn't want to be fingered. We're close to the election. He didn't want to be fingered after the election, as if he knew his party was going to lose, and actually they lost. They deserved the defeat that they themselves recorded. And so, Mr. Speaker, we would bring back that same agreement, and when we bring it back, it would go down in our records that it is this government, President Mohammed's government, which acquired the 2 offshore patrol vessels for our Navy. 5 additional aircraft are about to be purchased. 5! This is unprecedented. It is unprecedented. 5 aircraft at the same time. So, Mr. Speaker, the President deserves the scores Dr. Ishmael Norman gave him. I could say more, but I'm told my time is up. Let me conclude.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend James. Thank you, James. Thank you, James. Honorable members, from James Agaga, the security expert, I would now move to another security expert. Honorable Kofi Amankwa-Manu. Unfortunately, you will have 5 minutes, not 10 minutes. Who?
Thank you very much, Mr.
They said
Speaker.
deputies are 5 minutes. Yes, but I'll add 1 minute to him, so please time him 6 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity to comment on the State of the Nation address as presented by His Excellency the President. Mr. Speaker, let me begin by congratulating the President for being honest enough to admit to the fact that the fight against Galamsey has become complex. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency the President sometimes speaks as if he's never occupied the office he's occupying today. During his tenure as president for the first time, Galamsey was well alive. What did he do? To the extent that the issue of Galamsey was used as a political campaign tool. We were told that within 3 months, a new NDC government will bring to an end the issue of Galamsey. What do we see today? It is obvious from what is happening that His Excellency the President has thrown his hands into disrepair. Am I right? Into despair. Precisely. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, today our forests are being destroyed. Our water bodies are being destroyed. What is that telling you? What is happening, Mr. Speaker, is that the zeal to fight Galamsey is simply gone. We've lost it. We have lost it. There have been incidents where appointees of the government are deep in the Galamsey issue. Nobody is bringing them to book. Fellow colleagues, let our president know that Ghana is at the brink of perishing, And as a leader, he must care. It is very worrisome. Mr. Speaker, it is very laughable when my colleague and friend, the Honorable Agaga, seek to tell this House that one Dr. Norman has scored 7.5 for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and 1.5 for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That alone should tell you where Dr. Norman stands politically. It cannot be said that the said Dr. Norman is neutral. He cannot be neutral. He is not neutral. He is indeed an NDC activist. And our colleague must know. Mr. Speaker, is it not worrisome that for the first time in our history, we can have pirates coming as close as within 30 nautical miles of our waters, approximately 45 kilometers, having a field day to the extent of abducting our compatriots? Is that not worrisome? It is very worrisome. And Mr. Speaker, sometimes I ask, where did we get here? And how did we get here? My colleague alluded to the fact that when a contract was brought to this House, it had to be withdrawn. Mr. Speaker, when the contract was brought to this House, I sat right there. And in fact, at the mere mention of that contract, our colleagues rejected with an emphatic no that we will not buy those equipment. Those are the OPVs. These OPVs have long endurance, stay on sea, and they have firepower. It is wrong and erroneous for my friend to say that pirates are pirates, and so they can strike at any time. Yes, pirates are pirates. They can strike at any time. But it is a responsibility of our leadership to prepare against any eventuality or attack from any pirate. We sat, Mr. Speaker, to the extent that 50 of our fisher folks were abducted. For me, the fear here is that this is going to have a negative impact on our fishing communities. Now, fisher folks, when they have to go to sea, we always have to be looking over their shoulders. Why would they have to do that? Because they don't know, as my colleague said, pirates are pirates, and so they can strike at any time. They are not safe, and so they will be looking over their shoulders for the next pirate to strike. We cannot do that. Mr. Speaker, we have 8 Ghanaians perishing in Burkina Faso, and my colleague is saying that we do not have control over what happens to Ghanaians in a foreign land. Yes, their security will be in the hands of the security agencies of wherever they will be. But Mr. Speaker, this is the first time, the very first time, that Ghanaians transacting business in Burkina have been killed. This is the first time. And I believe that calls for a very proper investigation into why the very first time Ghanaians have been killed. Hitherto, Mr. Speaker, when vehicles bearing Ghanaians' numbers were seen in Burkina, they were treated differently. Why are Ghanaians being treated differently now? Is the question we need to ask ourselves. Mr. Speaker, the issue of corruption is very worrisome. That today, His Excellency is telling us that it's going to strengthen the fight against corruption. How can we fight against corruption when we hide behind Lolly Prosequa?
Thank you.
How can we do that?
Thank you. Thank you, Kofi. Thank you, Kofi. So let me now turn to Honorable Mohammed S. Abdul Khalid.
So, he's not here. Let's move on.
So if he's not ready,
he's not ready. He has run away. He's not ready.
If he's not ready, Honorable, he wants to take the slot.
No. Speaker, so we'll give to Ms. Bao. Ms. Bao is next. So we'll alternate the position in the ranking.
Who?
Honorable Ms. Bao.
Yes.
Yes.
Is he here?
Yes, he's here.
Which number?
That's number 4. Ms. Bao.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So, Honorable, you have 5 minutes. You say, what's the whip saying? My brother, let me hear you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to add my voice to the multitude of honorable members who have already expressed their opinions on the State of the Nation address ably delivered by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Speaker, I also want to take this opportunity to commend highly His Excellency the President for such. Mr. Speaker, I also want to take this opportunity to commend highly His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for such an impressive and fact-based address. Indeed, the statement was reassuring, it was inspiring, and again, it gave hope to the ordinary citizen. Mr. Speaker, I want to quote an old saying that says, "An old woman is always uneasy when dry bones are mentioned in a proverb." This reflects the current state of the minority. Indeed, they are very uncomfortable and dangerously afraid at the precision with which the NDC government is managing the economy. For instance, Mr. Speaker, when we take the primary balance of the economy, the primary balance, something that measures the primary balance, it measures it. Mr. Speaker, the primary balance, it measures how prudent a government is able to manage an interest expenditure as against total revenue in a particular period. And I must commend the government who were able to achieve a 2.6% as against a target of 1.5% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, the MPP were able to only manage a 3.6 deficit negative when they were in government. This showed how recklessly our economy was managed. They were only able to borrow at the least provocation to fund recurrent expenditure, carry out the private sector in the process. Mr. Speaker, the overall benefit of all this is that the NDC government was able to reduce the public debt to 45% of GDP as against what was handed over to us at 61.8%. This boosted Ghana's creditworthiness and increased investor confidence of our economy. Mr. Speaker, reputable rating agencies such as Fitch, Moody's, and Standard & Poor's all could not help but applaud the government and upgraded our ratings. Mr. Speaker, what did you see Yanum did? They left our economy in a junk status, an economy placed under an ICU. Mr. Speaker, the average Ghanaian, I can now say, walking in the street, has money in his pocket. Why do I say so, Mr. Speaker? The NDC government, for the 1 year that we have been in power, was able to reduce inflation to 3.8% as at close of January 2026, against a 23.8% that was handed to us in December 2024. Mr. Speaker, signaling predictability and stability in prices, allowing the average Ghanaian to be able to plan his affairs at ease or with ease. Mr. Speaker, this is no mean achievement. Indeed, this is the 13th consecutive month that we have seen a decline. It is indeed unprecedented.
Excellent.
Mr. Speaker, we're in this country when the previous government brought in a wild animal known as PFG, that's Planting for Food and Jobs. What did we see, Mr. Speaker? After sinking in a total of 6 billion
into that project, what did we see? Again, the same government spent a colossal $342 million importing only rice into the country in 2023 alone. What did we see? This further aggravated the situation of the economy, and we ended up at that time, the MPP government, with an inflation of 54.1%. Mr. Speaker, it is not surprising that the MPP government, or the MPP, our minority, they've now shifted the goalposts to say that we are not going to chop inflation. But need I remind them that when inflation is managed well, there's price stability. And the average Ghanaian out there is now able to buy fuel at 10 cedi per litre instead of the 15.2 they handed down to us before leaving power. Mr. Speaker, this is clearly huge savings that the ordinary Ghanaians is enjoying out there.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me now turn to Honorable John Darko. Honorable John Darko. Honorable, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much.
Honorable John Darko, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Speaker, for the opportunity given to me to comment on the President's statement to the House. Mr. Speaker, the President last Friday was supposed to deliver the state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, I sat here for close to about 2 hours. I listened to His Excellency the President, but Mr. Speaker, I didn't get a sense that the President was talking about the state of our nation. I did not get the impression that what the President was talking about was the state of our nation. And so in this short period, Mr. Speaker, I'll remind Mr. President what the state of our nation is. Mr. Speaker, one of the issues that is bothering our nation is the issue of Galamsey. Galamsey is illegal mining activity which is ravaging our forests and water bodies. Mr. Speaker, the President had a very good opportunity to tell the people of Ghana the state of the fight against Galamsey and how his administration was going to stop it. But having listened to the President, I realized that the President failed in this regard. One of the issues that is coming up in the Galamsey problem is the issue of cyanidation of Galamsey. That is an issue that the President was supposed to tackle. Now the illegal mining operators use cyanide in order to be able to get more gold from the oil. This cyanidation of Galamsey, Mr. Speaker, is the single most dangerous thing happening to our environment. But Mr. President didn't address us on that. Mr. Speaker, on page 13 of the President's State of the Nation address, this is what he told the people of Ghana. He said, and I quote, Mr. Speaker, "By formalizing gold exports, we have increased recorded exports in the artisanal and small-scale mining sector from 63.6 to 103 tons and channeled foreign exchange into our economy." Mr. Speaker, this is a president who is prioritizing illegal mining over the health and the future of the citizens of this country. This is an administration that believes that getting gold from illegal mining, exporting gold from illegal mining is better than protecting our forests, is better than protecting our forest reserve. Mr. Speaker, no wonder the assemblies where the President has put his representatives are collecting taxes from Galamsey operators. Mr. Speaker, this assertion is corroborated by Joy FM's report. There's a Joy FM report which shows that the DCEs, the MCEs that the president has appointed are collecting taxes, and it's called taxes from illegal mining operators. This is the state of our nation, Mr. Speaker. This is a president who is encouraging illegality. This is the state of our nation. Mr. Speaker, the president had the opportunity to tell us how he's going to fight this galamsey by ensuring that our borders are not as porous as they are. Mr. Speaker, in this country, those who are engaging in illegal mining are not only Ghanaians.
Honorable, hold on. Yes, Honorable Majority Chief Whip. I thought we will not be interjecting.
Protozwa. Speaker, my brother, my roommate, my friend John Daku, he knows that.
Is your roommate?
Yes. We were roommates in law school. So we are brothers, we are not friends. And he knows that the content of a member's contribution shouldn't attract controversy. It shouldn't. To say, and shouldn't generate debate, to say that the president is encouraging galamsey is untenable. You can make your point, but don't be that exactitude. Don't be that exactitude, because if I put you to street proof, you will not be able to. And he knows. He's my brother. So, John, you know how we do it. Safe land. In any case, your time is up. Conclude.
He's just calling you not to be exactitude.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. So, Mr. Speaker, the president is supposed to ensure that our borders are protected. Our borders, Mr. Speaker, has become so porous that the illegal mining operators in our country mostly are not Ghanaians. They are either from Burkina Faso or Ivory Coast or Togo. This is the state of our nation, where foreigners are ravaging our forests, where foreigners are destroying our water bodies. This is the state of the nation the president was supposed to tell us. Mr. Speaker, the hard-working Ghanaians, when at the end of the month he's going to the bank, he's expecting some good sums of money. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable John Daku, I give you 1 minute in addition. Honorable John Daku, I give you 1 minute. Just follow. Nowadays, it's automatic. Your time, once it gets up, it's. So
Mr.
I give you
Speaker,
1 minute, please.
I'm saying that in this country, the Mr. Speaker, the state of our nation is that the minimum wage, okay, is 21.77 cedis a day. Is the lowest in the sub-region. That is the state of our nation. Mr. Speaker, the state of our nation is that our cocoa farmers are now selling their lands to illegal mining operators so that they can make money because the president is not paying them. That is the state of our nation. Mr. Speaker, unemployment has become the bane of the Ghanaian youth. People are looking for jobs, they are not getting it. That is the state of the nation. The president promised 133. He said that when it comes into government, he's going to ensure that every Ghanaian was going to get a job. And that one job will be done, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. The people.
Thank you very much, Honorable John Daku. Honorable members, before I call the next debater, indulge me to introduce our guests at the public gallery. Well, the first school is Lizales School Complex. Where are they? They are being led by Georgina Asante, who is a teacher, and the school is located in the Shai Osudoku constituency. They are 65 in number. The second school is Savior of All Schools. Savior of All Schools. And they are being led by Linda Kwashi, who is the head teacher. And the school is located at Wasa East constituency. Wasa East. Who is the MP? Wasa East constituency. They are 26 in number. And the last but not the least is National Hairdressers Association. National Hairdressers Association. They are being led by Diana Ubiba and Stephanie Amoa. They are presidents, and the school or the association is located in the Kuyapem South constituency. Kuyapem South constituency. Yes. That's the honorable member. Very well. So you are all welcome. And we wish you a pleasant stay in Parliament. Thank you. So we will turn to Honorable Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan. Honorable Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan. Then we will turn to Honorable Richie Jan. Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't see you. Oh, my brother from Yendi. Come again. Yes, I did. In fact, I didn't watch there. I'm sorry. My brother from Yendi. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, let my whip announce his presence.
My friend he made a point that the honorable member is actually on their side. It's a needless point to make. The speaker knows that he's on your side. We acknowledge you've increased your numbers. But Speaker, I want him to know that it's just a question of time. Especially now that cocoa farmers are getting very disappointed in them. It's just a question of time. Speaker, it's just a question of time. It's just a question of time.
Speaker, I agree with my brother that he's just returned from several cocoa farms within the Eastern Enclave. But why Mobodudu? Why Mobodudu? So he's welcome.
Yes. My brother from Yendi.
Thank you so much.
My brother, let me hear you. You have 5 minutes.
Thanks so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the message on the State of the Nation address delivered by His Excellency the President last Friday. Mr. Speaker, to start with, I wish to state that if you look at what has been said of late, you hear our colleagues on the other side saying that, yes, the figures are looking good, all the indicators are looking positive, but there's no money in our pockets. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in my constituency, we have the local assembly, that is the municipal assembly, being able to award several contracts to local people in the constituency. Mr. Speaker, 2025 alone, 2 chiefs compounds were awarded, 2 6-unit classroom blocks were awarded, then kindergarten blocks were awarded, and some ongoing projects were even completed. Mr. Speaker, these projects were all awarded to the locals. And if you tell me that these locals will not have money in their pockets, then I don't know what other means can be used to put money in the pockets of Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, right from the onset of this administration, His Excellency announced that 80% of the allocation to district assemblies must really get to the district assemblies. And we can confirm that indeed the district assemblies are getting what is due them. And in fact, these allocations are being channeled to the local people because the contracts are awarded to these local people. Mr. Speaker, I wish to say that today, like the President rightly mentioned, passport production and processing has been fast-tracked. Today, within 15 days of application for passport, you will get it delivered to you. And the good thing about it is that, Mr. Speaker, wherever you are, it can be brought to you. You don't need to actually visit the office to pick your passport. Mr. Speaker, the President also mentioned that we have been able to secure 11 visa waivers for Ghanaians. And so, for 2025 alone, Ghanaians are able to travel to 11 additional countries without the need for visas. Mr. Speaker, if we cannot appreciate this, then what else can we appreciate? Mr. Speaker, on the side of education, the President on Friday did indicate that there has been serious imbalance in our educational sector. That because of the onset of free SHS, which is a very good policy, and which policy we are bettering as we speak, there has been total neglect of the basic education level. And the basic education level provides the entry point for, Mr. Speaker, foundational literacy, numeracy, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills for our children. And so if we neglect this side, and we concentrate so heavily on the second cycle sector, Mr. Speaker, chances are, by the time the children get to the second cycle education, they would have been so badly handled that even the free SHS cannot cure the damage. Which is why I applaud the President when he stated that he's coming to rebalance the structure, and that he's implementing what I will call Agenda 200, 200, 200. Which is to say, Mr. Speaker, that in 2026, we are constructing 200 kindergarten blocks, 200 primary school blocks, and 200 junior high school blocks. This, we believe, will balance the distortion that we have seen over the years through the implementation of the free SHS. Mr. Speaker, we have also been told that if you have met the private universities, one of the biggest problems they have had is to do with charter. The President is committed to abolishing the charter system through a new legislation that will soon be brought to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, the last thing I will say is about the decision by the government to move 30 Category C schools to Category B, and 10 Category B schools to Category A, and then upgrading of Category A schools to meet higher standards. Mr. Speaker, we believe that if all this is done, our educational sector will never be the same. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Fatau. Let me now turn to Honorable Nanaji. Honorable, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the motion to thank the President for his message on the state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, state of the nation is actually, most often than not, the health of the nation, where he has taken the country from and where he is taking the country to. Mr. Speaker, in the State of the Nation address, you could see that there are similarities between the 2025 State of the Nation address and the 2026 State of the Nation address. So there's a troubling reality. Mr. Speaker, the President said in 2025, he promised to reset the economy and place it on a path of growth and prosperity. The same language was echoed in the 2026 State of the Nation address. Mr. Speaker, from 2025 to 2026, we are still seeing cost of living remains high. Businesses continue to struggle. Mr. Speaker, my senior colleague, Honorable Agaga, spoke about vessels fighting pirates. But in everything that we do, you need to give to Caesar what Caesar deserves, and also give credit to who the credit is supposed to go to. Mr. Speaker, these vessels on the high seas were purchased by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government. So he should have told us that the vessels were purchased by the previous government, but he shielded it and rather praised their government, who did not buy these vessels. Mr. Speaker, this government promised us a 24-hour economy. In the 2025 State of the Nation address, the President said continuous production, increased productivity, massive job creation, a system where one job will support 3 jobs. Mr. Speaker, in 2026, there is no clear national framework, no new industries has emerged, no employment statistics have been provided relating to this promise. No budget line clearly supports this 24-hour economy. Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Finance Minister was here yesterday. He spoke about brilliant macro indicators. Mr. Speaker, in all these macro indicators, with these brilliant macro indicators, the end product should be jobs. Mr. Speaker, in any economy, with these macro indicators, the economy should expand. As the economists will say, there should be expansion in the economy. When there's expansion, meaning there's going to be creation of jobs, banks are going to open branches, retailers are going to open branches, there's access to cheaper funds. Mr. Speaker, with all these brilliant macroeconomic indicators, we are not seeing the jobs. Rather, they came here and told us that there's 1 million jobs being created, but Ghana Statistical Service has told this nation that it's rather 600,000 jobs that has been created. Mr. Speaker, the Finance Minister, Deputy Finance Minister, also said that Ghana reference rate has reduced. Mr. Speaker, we are not eating macro indicators. We are not eating macro indicators. They should feel it in their pockets. Mr. Speaker, he said there are banks in this country that is lending to borrowers at 11.70%, and some are even lending to borrowers at 10%. Mr. Speaker, I dare the Deputy Finance Minister to come back to the House and tell this country the banks that are lending at 11% and 10%, so that our women who have been deceived that there's going to be a women's development bank can go to these banks and access the 10% or the 11%. Mr. Speaker, if he's not able to do that, then, Mr. Speaker, with all humility, I ask that with your power as the Speaker, you ask them to expunge that part of the 10% and 11% being lent to borrowers to be.
Thank you very much. Let me now go to Akotia. Honorable Bernard Bediako. Honorable, you have 5 minutes.
10 minutes. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the State of the Nation's address ably presented to this House by His Excellency, the President of the Republic. Mr. Speaker, for the sake of time, I would want to dwell on corruption. Mr. Speaker, we are grateful at this time to have a president in the name of John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, who is so confident to report to us his efforts in fighting corruption in his government. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama can be trusted. It is the case that every government attempts to deal with this endemic, but His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has a track record of doing so much to end this endemic. Mr. Speaker, I hold in my hands all the SONES as were presented by the former president of this republic, His Excellency Akufo-Addo. Mr. Speaker, it is the case that in most of the SONES that were presented to this House by His Excellency Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, he touched on corruption, but conspicuously missing in his State of the Nation's address presented on the day of of 20th February 2020, which was an election year. The president deliberately avoided the canker corruption. Mr. Speaker, as if it was just an error on his part or a mistake. In another election year in 2024, the president did not have the courage to talk about corruption in his State of the Nation's address. Mr. Speaker, it is the case that the president at the time, His Excellency Akufo-Addo, whilst campaigning, assured the Republic, the people of Ghana, that he would adopt the ANAS style to fight corruption. The ANAS principle was he never mentioned it after getting the power that he got from the Republic, the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, introduced ORA. And it is never the case that ORA has failed. And I'll prove it to this House. ORA has brought about changes that would eventually see to the end of this endemic. Because of ORA, as we speak, because of ORA, we have had certain bills presented to this House to end the endemic. There is the value for money audit, the value for money office bill, which has been presented to this House, which, Mr. Speaker, is going to end waste and inflation of contracts. There is the state and disposal of public assets bill, which is also currently before this House. It is going to end this long, Mr. Speaker, it is going to end this long problem of dissipating public assets. My Lord, what is even good is the fact that that particular law is going to be in this House, and it is going to give the people of Parliament, the House of the Republic, of the representatives, that power to vet any asset that is going into the hands of any person in the Republic. In any case, that bill is also seeking to end the long problem of public servants buying state assets. My Lord, Mr. Speaker, in the summer of 2025, the president also stated
I grant you 1 minute. I grant you 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, there are cases that are currently in court as a result of ORA. The SkyTrain case is in court. $1 just because somebody was interested in doing out that money. The National Service rot is also in court. We all know what is happening. Mr. Speaker, it is not the case. In conclusion, it is not the case. As the president has said, every time a case is in court, the people have to be given a hearing. It is not the case that anybody is being persecuted. In the last administration, Mr. Speaker, in the last administration, the Honorable Ato-Forson's case, the judgment was delivered on the 6th day of June 2024, 8 years after the Akufo-Addo administration assumed office. Even in the Chachu-Chikata case, the judgment was given on the 18th day of June 2008, 8 years after the government was in power. The Bafuboni case was the case, the judgment was delivered on the 12th day of May 2020, 3.5 years after Akufo-Addo was in power. The Sedinam Tamaklo case, the judgment was delivered on the 16th day of April 2024, 8 years after the government was in power. The wheels of respectfully that for those who are calling for the blood to those who are calling.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable members from Akwetia, let's jump to the next constituency, Akemodan. Akwasi, I give you 6 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I thank you for this space, and I want to take this opportunity to wish all Ghanaians a happy independence celebration. Mr. Speaker, a celebration that cocoa farmers cannot be part of, a celebration that cocoa farmers cannot be proud of, because for a country that they have suffered so much to develop, at a point in time, a president says he cannot pay them the worth of their toil. That is the bane of the cocoa farmer. Mr. Speaker, we engage some cocoa farmers in Eastern region, including Akwetia. They are telling us to relay this information to the president, that if the president wants to cut their hair and take off monies from their yields, it has to start from him, the president, and his appointees. Let it start from Jubilee House. Let there be salary cuts from Jubilee House through the ministers, DCs, everywhere. It is not about the Cocoa Board Senior Staff Association losing 10% of their salaries. And they are not happy. They are complaining, Mr. Speaker. They are complaining. During our term of office, when it got to the crunch, our appointees were made to have salary cuts. All of us, we all had salary cuts. And so if the president is saying that he took this decision in a painful manner, the pain will be very much felt if he starts from his salary and then he continues with chief of staff, the deputy chief of staff, the ministers, the DCs, and all that. So, Speaker, when my colleague, Honorable John Darko, was talking, the chief whip, Honorable Dafo was not too comfortable that he said government appointees are involved in Galamsey. So, Speaker, Mr. Chief Whip, Honorable Dafo, if you are minded, if you are not comfortable with the names that are being mentioned, the appointees that are involved in Galamsey, then you have to pay attention to the exposés. I can tender to this house a receipt that has been given to an illegal miner from the municipal chief executive of Brim Central, that this is fine for illegal mining. Do district assemblies take fines from Galamseyers? And then we'll end up having the EPA boss coming to tell us we need $35 million out of the taxpayers' money to clean the Beam River. Mr. Speaker, we were expecting the president to tell us the state of our rivers so that we would not agree if we have to release $35 million out of our taxpayers' money to clean the Beam River. The Galamsey menace, Mr. Speaker, is everywhere. And we expect the president to know those who are involved. Because when the president was in opposition, Mr. Speaker, he talked about the fact that it's the MCs and the government appointees who are involved in the Galamsey menace. I'm surprised that in government, with all the investigative machinery, the president is not able to know those who have made the Galamsey operations this worse. And then we have to take 35 million cedis, $35 million out of our taxpayers' money to clean the Beam River alone. How about other rivers, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, the president talked about the fact that health workers must accept postings to the rural areas. When I went back to my constituency and I engaged a few health workers, they told me to remind the president that when he was campaigning, there were certain things he promised them. And so they thought the president was going to give an update and give a state of those promises. The president promised health workers to expand health infrastructure. When I wanted the attention, he didn't give me. Expand health infrastructure, your manifesto. Expand health infrastructure to ensure prompt employment and deployment of health professionals. Introduce risk exposure insurance for injuries or illness on the job. Provide on-site accommodation at health facilities and facilitate home ownership schemes. Your manifesto, 2024 manifesto. Vehicle tax waiver. Implement a well-regulated vehicle tax waiver scheme for health professionals. Offer scholarship for nurses and allied health workers to pursue PhD level education. These health workers, Mr. Speaker, we're expecting the president to give an update of all these promises. If you haven't given them any update, if you haven't made any move on these ones, why would you insist that you should get them to go to the rural areas when they are posted? Mr. Speaker, the president is reported to have said that the current war that is going on between Iran and US may
My brother, thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. I gave you one more. I gave you 1 minute. I granted you 1 minute.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I was going to say that the president shouldn't be apprehensive because he reported to this House that Thor is working. If Thor is working and Thor is already refining crude, why should we be afraid that the war is going to affect our energy situation?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let him now go to Honorable Nelson Kofi Jabbar. Are you Nelson?
No. Is that you can hear?
Yes. Let's hear you, my brother. You have 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity for me to contribute to the statement, the State of the Nation address, powerfully delivered by the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, on the 27th of February 2026. Mr. Speaker, the President was very accurate, he was eloquent, he was straight to the point. Mr. Speaker, if you want to appreciate what I'm saying, then you've got to follow the road right away from Tetakwashi roundabout, go through Eastern Corridor, and get to Dambai, my constituency, where you will see a bridge. The bridge that I can also describe as a bridge on Oti River. Mr. Speaker, before this bridge will commence, Ghanaians from other constituencies like Krachi West, Krachi Chumru, Bandai, and the eastern part of the northern region always got stranded anytime they got to Dambai and the pontoon was in disorder. The pontoon was spoiled and they couldn't cross. Mr. Speaker, this is the president who promised on his word that if he's made the president of Ghana, he was going to see to it that the problem of transportation will be resolved. Mr. Speaker, not only on Dambai River, similar work is ongoing on the River Afram to Pandotoko. Work is ongoing on other places all over Ghana. This is true to the west of Ejumara, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Speaker, to continue, before His Excellency John Dramani Mahama assumed the state as the president, the interest rate of Ghana was somewhere beyond 30%. Mr. Speaker, as we speak today, the interest rate today is well around 18%. This means that it can give the macro traders opportunity to have access to trading capital. They can borrow from banks. This will enable them to expand their businesses. Mr. Speaker, this was what we saw in the era of MPP, that even in their era, when some banks were struggling, they needed just recapitalization. They could not do that. They had to collapse over 200 banks in this country. Yes, over 200 microfinances, they collapsed it in this country. 450, I'm even being, Mr. Speaker, I am being magnanimous. I am being magnanimous with my words, Mr. Speaker. Now, the distressed banks that are in distress and needed capitalization, Mr. Speaker, such as NIB, such as Agri Development Bank, ADB, Mr. Speaker, the President and through the Minister of Finance is providing recapitalization for these banks. We are not collapsing the banks, but we are rather recapitalizing them to make them to be economically viable and to be solvent so that they can serve the good people of Ghana. This is the difference between the MPP government and then the NDC government. Mr. Speaker, I also move on to talk about inflation. When His Excellency John Mahama assumed presidency, inflation was well over 23.5%. As we speak today, Mr. Speaker, inflation is down to 3.8%. Sometimes first in this era. Mr. Speaker, I continue also to talk about corruption. I want to talk about corruption. It is said that, Mr. Speaker, if you want to come to corruption, come with clean hands. The president was assertive, he was brave, he was courageous when he was commenting on corruption. Why? Is because he is clean. Why? Is because he is a man who is up to task when it comes to corruption. Mr. Speaker, barely 15 months into power, like in the SY government, when His Excellency Akufo-Addo was about 15 months into office, he already attained so many names in addition to his name. One of the names was the clearing agent. Another name was he was in the pocket of a private businessman. Another name was that the mother serpent of all corruption.
Thank you, Honorable Nelson Kofi Jabab. So it is now the turn of Honorable Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah. Honorable, you are ranking of the Committee on Economy. You are therefore allocated 10 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the motion currently before the House. Mr. Speaker, we on this side have just returned from a tour of farming communities, agro-processing sites, and engagements with the middle class of this country. And we regret to inform our colleagues on the other side that as we listen to you paint a very glossy picture of the state of the nation, we observe that there is a wide gap between your state of the nation and the lived experience of millions of our compatriots in the country. Mr. Speaker, this is happening, this wide gap, this wide dichotomy, is because our friends who are in government are sitting here in Accra and are generating their own data. They are reading that data. They are believing that data. And they are telling the people on the ground that that is the reality on the ground. And Mr. Speaker, we are disappointed but not surprised. We are disappointed because for a party that claims that they support the grassroots of this country, it's surprising that in 1 year, in fact, it's disappointing rather, that in 1 year, they have forgotten about the realities on the ground and are sitting here quoting 70%, 20%, 30%, 40%. Just 1 year. But we are not surprised, Mr. Speaker, because as we had mentioned in 2024, a lot of the things that they were complaining about, they were just trying to capitalize on the genuine pain of the Ghanaian people. It's not that they had any honest answers to some of those issues. It's because we've heard them arguing in the last few days that the state of the nation is good and the state of the nation has improved. I want to respectfully submit to my colleagues that an improved state of the nation does not lie in the government statistics that you are repeating over and over. Honorable Member, an improved state of the nation should be identifiable in the lived experiences of people on the ground. For us, on the Committee on the Economy and Development, we are looking at three things: agri, industry, services. If you want to determine the true state of the nation, check the state of agriculture. As I mentioned, Mr. Speaker, we've just come back from the farms and the agro-processing sites. Talk to the rice farmers today. Rice farmers have borrowed money, cultivated rice, milled the rice, and have thousands of bags stored up in barns. Cannot find buyers because there is very little liquidity in town. Mr. Speaker, maize farmers, if you go to the north, maize farmers are complaining that they have cultivated maize. There are a lot of northern MPs who are here. If you stop reciting the numbers they've given you to recite in the chamber and you get on the ground, your maize farmers will tell you that they have borrowed money, they have cultivated maize, they have harvested the maize, it's stored in their barns, and they cannot get buyers. They cannot get buyers to buy because there's very little liquidity in town. Mr. Speaker, the cashew farmers in the Bono and Ahafo areas, are complaining that the prices that are being offered them and the liquidity that is not available is putting them in peril. And as for cocoa farmers, I think we've spoken enough about them. On our tour recently, it's not just the farmers. The purchasing clerks are losing a lot of money. Now we are finding people who have invested in cocoa farms who are saying that they are contemplating selling their farms to illegal miners because they think they'll make more value from there. Yam farmers, Mr. Speaker, are complaining up north. So if somebody says that the state of the nation has improved, he should check the state of the farmers. A nation in which the state of its farmers is getting worse cannot be a nation whose state has improved. Mr. Speaker, look at manufacturers. The question to ask is whether or not the Ghanaian manufacturer today is better off than he was in 2024. If you speak to the manufacturers, you will find out that, for example, utility, including electricity bills, have gone up over about 28%. The cost of their locally produced raw materials, which they need for their production, is becoming unbearable for them in many instances. Mr. Speaker, if the Ghanaian manufacturer is worse off today than he was last year, the state of manufacturing cannot be better than it was last year. The state of the nation cannot be said to be better. Service providers, if our colleagues want to check, they should speak to the hairdressers. They should speak to the welders. They should speak to those who operate cold stores. They should speak to those who are doing computer coding. And they will tell you that they are worse off because today, among other things, even the cost of electricity is putting them out of business. So you can be here in the chamber and recite these numbers, that the state of the nation is better. The lived experience of the people on the ground is what the majority are looking out for. But Mr. Speaker, as I mentioned, we are not surprised because our colleagues have fixated on some things. For example, one of the things they are fixated on is trying to ace the inflation number. And so, as they have mentioned, my colleague tried to quote the number. He said it's 3.8. Let me respectfully remind him that just yesterday they announced a new figure, 3.3. And we have argued that the method they are using, they can even get to zero very soon. But you see, what the people are measuring out there is cost of living. I've been on this side before defending inflation numbers. I'm telling you, take it from me, that what the people are measuring is cost of living. If what you are doing is heavily sterilizing about 62 billion Ghana cedis in the year 2025, and you are continuing with it, I'm telling you that inflation can even come down to zero with the method that you are using. But when people go out there and they are looking for an opportunity to even sell their goods, they will tell you that there's limited currency in circulation, there's very little money to generate demand. And Mr. Speaker, the sterilization they are doing is costing the Bank of Ghana so much that already the Bank of Ghana is beginning to prepare the grounds about the cost of their open market operations and how it's affecting their books. Mr. Speaker, one of the biggest statistics that exposes the fact that our colleagues on the other side are disconnected from reality is when they claim that in 9 months, 1 million people have found jobs. In 9 months. I am sure that even the government statistician himself doesn't believe it. For our colleagues who are here, they themselves know that it is not true that 1 million youth have found jobs in 9 months. If it is true, why are the young people in your constituencies chasing you? Where are the jobs? Your 24-hour economy has become a hoax. Your 1 million coders, people are even looking for those who have supposedly graduated to give them contracts. We can't find the 1 million coders. Mr. Speaker, as for their other apprenticeship and job creation programs, the least said about it, the better. So where are these 1 million jobs that you claim you have created? As I have said, you can recite this number over and over again. The lived experience of the young Ghanaian out there is what will be measured at the end of the day. Mr. Speaker, now we are worried that where there are real numbers that should be investigated, our colleagues on the other side are running away from it. We have filed motions to investigate the $214 million loss on gold transactions. Every week we come to this chamber, we are not having an opportunity to move that motion. We have filed a motion to investigate the circumstances under which half of our gold reserves have been sold. Every week we come into this chamber, we are not being given an opportunity to investigate it. Those are the real numbers that need to be investigated. Mr. Speaker, the state of the nation now is one of rebranding. PMMC rebranded to Gold Board. Kaswa to Takrady Road is now being rebranded, that it is a big push project. The domestic gold purchase program, which they inherited, they now call it Accelerated Reserve Accumulation. That's the state of the nation today, rebranding things that you have inherited. And Mr. Speaker, the state of the nation today is that the government is going back to increase borrowing. They've just announced that in addition to raising our domestic debt from 309 million, which they inherited, to 309 billion, they
thank you so much. Yes, Honorable Potosu Kofi Richard.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member for Ho Central, eh?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, let me hear you. You have 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker.
Hold on. Yes.
Speaker, let me pray you that we take one more in addition to the listed or the advertised names. I'm trying to reach agreement with my brother on the other side. In view of that, I pray that we add one more to the advertised numbers. Yes. Thank you very much. And if it's agreed, then from our side will be Aji Aladi. Then she'll finish it for the day on our side. Thank you.
Speaker, that is workable to us. So on our side, the Honourable Member for Nkoko, Joseph Frimpong, will speak on our side as the last person. That's it.
Very well. So Honorable Kofi Richard, you have 5 minutes. Let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion to thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for delivering the State of the Nation address, such a laborious task on the theme Building Prosperity, Restoring Hope. I want to say that it's not rhetorical, it is measurable. Between 2025 and 2026, that's January to February, Ghana's economic and educational sectors have witnessed concrete data-backed recovery and reform. Mr. Speaker, in January 2025, we inherited an economy in distress. The NDC inherited an economy in distress. The only thing left was the country being mortgaged. But here we stand, and I overheard some of our friends on the other side saying that the president came here to lament. For example, if you owe a debt and you pay, and you make people aware that you have finished paying your debt, are you lamenting or you are giving them encouragement? Now, the Ghana reference rate, we inherited 29 plus 2. It's now 14 plus 2. Smart businesses are now referencing their loans. They are going for lower rate interest loans to pay off the high rate interest loan they took in 2024 in order to remain afloat. The Ghana cedi has appreciated over time, 40.7% against the US dollar, 30.9% against the pound, and 24% against the euro. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that the 24-hour economy that we passed in this House is not just a talk. It's a reality, and it's procedural. Very soon we shall see the fruit of the 24 hours, and we shall applaud the president, because it's not anything that we can just put down and say this is 24 hours. It's an integral part of our economy, so we shall all see it very soon. Mr. Speaker, in the education sector, we are investing in human capital. Education remains the backbone of sustainable economic and transformation. And since 2025, we have witnessed this in this chamber. Hitherto, Mr. Speaker, myself and the Gen Zs, we thought that in governing the country, it's all about going to borrow. But now the dynamics have changed. We have a creative president who has made us aware that it's not the borrowing that matters, but it's how well and how prudent you manage the economy, and that's what we are witnessing now. We are here today, and we keep talking about the cocoa farmers. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that if a cocoa farmer needed $20,000 to import a car in 2024, he was going to spend almost 340,000 Ghana cedis. But today, here we stand. That same farmer in need of $20,000 needs about 20 to 22,000 Ghana cedis to import the same car. Look at the difference that he has saved. So it is not worth it saying that the cocoa price has been reduced for the cocoa farmer. It's rather based on what the president has done to this country by making us aware that we are on a better mission. Mr. Speaker, the president made us aware that he has moved from the Old Testament, that is Lamentation, to the New Testament, that is Acts of the Apostles. He is acting now. So he says we are on the runway, ready to take off. So let's all put on our belts so that we don't fall from our seats. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kofi Richards. So now let me turn to Honorable Frechi. Honorable, you have 5 minutes.
Oh, no, I'm a chair. 10 minutes.
Honorable Member, you have 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I'm a chairperson of a committee.
Chairperson of?
10 minutes.
No, hold on. You are chairperson of which committee?
Chieftaincy, Culture and Religious Affairs.
Well, honorable members, it appears that is true. That committee is chaired by the minority, and therefore, Honorable Frechi, you have 10 minutes. 10 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you hear the comment on the floor, I believe that's why the President, during the State of the Nation address, refused to give a good update on what is happening in our chieftaincy and religious sector of the economy. And we all know how things are happening up north and more brewing up in other regions. I believe, and I also expected that the President would have given her the state of our chieftaincy issues. But, Mr. Speaker, you know something. In Offensive North, we have a lot of cocoa farmers, and I've checked, and unfortunately, no cocoa farmer has been given a borehole. The boreholes that were promised to cocoa farmers, that they're going to drill boreholes in cocoa farms. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, nothing is happening. Then, Mr. Speaker, the President talked about 1 million jobs. We have 276 constituencies. So I would like to ask our members of parliament here, at least averagely, each constituency should be talking about 3,006 jobs. Can we as members of parliament talk about the fact that these 3,600 jobs have been created in each constituency? It's quite unfortunate. Mr. Speaker, the President is a gentleman, and I'd like to appreciate. But unfortunately, we know the President is supposed to be the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. But you know what? It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that he is now the Commander-in-Chief of renaming and rebranding. Why am I saying that? Renaming and rebranding. The Ghana National Apprenticeship Program was launched by His Excellency, the former Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, on the 13th of March 2024. What did we see? It was relaunched again by the President on the 30th of April 2025. That's unfortunate. Then you know what? Akintinapia Minka University of Skill Training and Entrepreneurial Development was renamed again by Mr. President through a bill that he brought to Parliament. Mr. Speaker, Simon Didon Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development has been renamed. Mr. Speaker, the university, the C.K. Tendem University of Technology and Applied Sciences has also been renamed. Mr. Speaker, Planting for Food and Jobs has also been renamed. Yeah. So no wonder that we can say this is the Commander-in-Chief of rebranding and renaming. Mr. Speaker, if you talk about State of the Nation address, you are to give the state of what you have been able to do. You are to tell us what you have been able to do. We are all here in this country when we witness, sadly, 6 young, energetic women lost their life for the fact that they are looking for jobs. And we are telling us 1 million jobs have been created. We are telling this nation that 3,600 jobs have been created in constituency. It's quite unfortunate. And we hope that the president will come again and give a better State of the Nation address. What did we see? It's like being read the budget statement. That's what we saw. It's like we are on the campaign grounds. What they promised to do during the campaign is not what is happening. Mr. Speaker, let me come to education. I was happy to hear the committee chair for education talking about the president's commitment to build schools at the basic level. That is true. They committed 10% of the District Assembly Common Fund to build new schools. Mr. Speaker, we were hoping that the president will give us the update on these schools, but nothing was said. Mr. Speaker, they said that 10% of the District Assembly Common Fund was going to be used for furniture. Mr. Speaker, we were hoping that the president will come here and give us an update on the furniture that was being bought during 2025 budget year. Mr. Speaker, we were told that a lot of textbooks were going to be printed for our schools. We were hoping that the president would have come to give us an update on this. Mr. Speaker, on TVET, it's quite unfortunate that the president decided not to talk about technical and vocational education. Mr. Speaker, it's like repeating the old same story. It's like we are campaigning and campaigning and campaigning. In 2025, the president committed to build 6 TVET centers of excellence. Mr. Speaker, when the president came again to give us the State of the Nation in 2026, he's talking about the same thing he wants to do to state centers. So which is which? The question I keep asking is a chameleon. And I keep saying, the promises are so beautiful, so sweet, but the real state of the nation is what is happening in our constituencies. The people are not feeling it. The farmers don't have any funds to procure anything. Because of sterilization, there's no money for farmers to buy. During 2024 and the previous years, even though things were high, quote unquote, people had money to buy. So if you are talking about state of a nation where people don't have money to be able to procure anything, even when inflation is -5, they can't do anything. So the real state of nation needs to be told to the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, over 5,000 basic schools are still under trees and makeshift structures. Over 5,000, and you are aware, in your constituency, Mr. Speaker, in our constituencies, we know, and due to the good measures of Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, we were able to implement free secondary education. Mr. Speaker, because of the boldness of Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, we were able to implement free secondary education. Because of that, enrollment at our secondary schools have improved. Mr. Speaker, at this time, we were hoping that the president would have committed more money and also giving same to improve on infrastructure, but up to 70% because of the good work that was done by Bawumia and Akufo-Addo. Demand has improved and demand has gone up, so we're supposed to commit more funds to improve on infrastructure in our second cycle school. Unfortunately, the president refused to give us an update on that. Mr. Speaker, as we are talking now, 30,000 of our basic schools are in need of teachers. In fact, we are having a deficit of a minimum of 30,000 teachers. Mr. Speaker, the president promised in 2025 to recruit 50,000 teachers and 10,000 non-teaching staff. Mr. Speaker, he listened to the president for 2 hours in this chamber, but nothing was said about teacher recruitment in 2025. So we want the Mr. President to come and tell us what did he do regarding teacher recruitment. If the member of parliament responsible for Tatale Sanguli district is here, Mr. Speaker, 20% of the primary schools are staffed by a single teacher. If you go to a primary school, it's staffed by a single teacher. We were hoping that the president, who said he was resetting Ghana, would have talked about what is the teacher situation in our schools. Now the people-teacher ratio now exceed 1 to 40 people. What was the president's promise to Ghanaians? That he promised that right after teacher training colleges, you are going to go straight into teaching. You are going to employ directly. But unfortunately, the 6,005 that Akufo-Addo Bawumia even employed, unfortunately, nothing has been said about them. And nothing was done about them. So, not mentioning anything about teacher situation, Mr. Speaker, is unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. And we want Mr. President to come back because you are talking about the human capital of this nation. And if we don't build the basic education, we cannot build. So we need the commitment to hire the 50,000 teachers. Mr. President refused to say something about it, and we were hoping that Mr. President will not just be Commander-in-Chief of renaming and rebranding, but will be Commander-in-Chief of ensuring that our classrooms have teachers, our classrooms have infrastructures, our classrooms have the textbooks to be able to support the education in this country. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Frechi. So now, upon the admission of the application, I will call Honorable Hajia Ladi. Hajia, are you? Is Hajia chairperson?
I'm ranking,
Hajia, you have.
And that is my chairman who just.
Oh, okay. Then you have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to comment on the statement on the state of the nation that was presented to this House by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Speaker, the state of the nation is supposed to spell out the reality on the ground about what is happening in the nation. And that was exactly what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama did. Mr. Speaker, yesterday it was very interesting when I listened to some of my colleagues talking about transportation and going to the extent of saying that we have many people being stuck along the road and they don't have means of transport to go home. And interestingly, this was coming from our colleagues at the opposite side. I want to remind them that if there are people to blame or there is a government to blame, then it is the immediate past government that is to blame. Mr. Speaker, interesting enough, they have forgotten that in the name of improving transportation, they came to this House So, 2 million cedis, $2 million was paid out. $2 million was paid out to somebody whom nobody knows, and nothing, not even a train, the tire of a train, has been produced. Not to talk of a train in the sky. Not even the trains on the ground were supported. Not to talk about, we didn't even see a drawing by any PY child to show this. Mr. Speaker, we still have the case of the auctioning of buses. That is Metro, Mass, especially buses. The case is still pending. If they had maintained those buses and worked on them, I believe that those buses would have done a very good job and would have supported our people. And yet, they auctioned it and we cannot even tell. I wouldn't want to talk so much because it is under investigation, but they shouldn't forget that they have a problem. Mr. Speaker, in this same house, we heard about the procurement of e-buses. That is the electronic buses. And we were told categorically in this house that there were 10 that had already been procured and was in this country. Unfortunately, immediately they left power when we went in to look at the buses. And I'm a member of the Transport Committee. There were only 3. Only 3, Mr. Speaker. These are the same people who will sit today and talk to us about transportation, when these are some of the things that they have done when it comes to transport. Mr. Speaker, the issue of roads in this country is one of the things that the MPP government used as if it was a national anthem. Year of roads, 1. Year of roads, 2. And yet, when they came to power, immediately they stopped the construction of roads, including the road from Bolga, Boku, Pulmakom. Immediately it was stopped. And that has affected Pusuga itself, because the lot 11, which was supposed to be constructed, had to be stopped. And up till now, we are still making sure and trying to ensure that that road is done. No road have they successfully completed, except coming to stop the cocoa roads under the fact that they were doing an audit. Which audit up till now, Mr. Speaker, we haven't seen any report. Mr. Speaker, 10 million in doing an audit is something that we need to actually investigate. Mr. Speaker, let me talk about gender, and for that matter, women. Mr. Speaker, I wish to congratulate the NDC government, and for that matter, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, for actually considering women and knowing that women are a group of people that need to be recognized, and that we are not partners in any other dubious means, but in projecting and ensuring that this country moves forward, and that the first female vice president was nominated and elected by the NDC, and so today we have a female vice president in the person of Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajuma. Mr. Speaker, if you look at our educational status in this country, the girl child is very important. Following activities, we have realized that the girl child has not always had a good stand after getting to about 11, 12, and then ensuing years because of a monthly periods. Some of them do stop education, or they stop school because they do not have sanitary pads to support them. This, our government has ensured that today every girl child in school who needs it will have and has access to sanitary pads, and so no girl child would say she would not be able to go to school. Mr. Speaker, all along I have listened to the MPP that have always touted the issue of women. Mr. Speaker, it's painful and annoying for us to note that in the ECOWAS Parliament, there is no woman from the other side. The MPP have no female representation. I had been alone and I am still alone being the female in ECOWAS Parliament. Mr. Speaker, in the last Parliament, they had 20 women and we had 20 women. Ask me today how many do they have? 10. While we have made progress and we've gotten 31. What happened? You couldn't even support them. You couldn't support them to ensure that they increase the numbers, and not even supporting them, you decided to make sure that you reduce their numbers, and yet you will sit and say you are supporting women to be part of decision making. Mr. Speaker, the issue of the cedi against the dollar, the president said it, and I will condone and continue to support the fact that yes, we, the NDC, and for that matter, led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we ensured that the cedi has been strengthened against not only the dollar, but all other currencies. We have not locked the dollar and given the key to the IGP. And so today, a bag of rice that was selling at 700 Ghana cedis today is being sold at 400 or 450 Ghana cedis. And for that matter, sugar is bought at about 450 Ghana cedis, Mr. Speaker. And we, those fasting, we are able to buy sugar, distribute, buy sugar, and support persons that need to be supported. And I think it is quite gratifying. Mr. Speaker, Hajj was costing us 700, that is 70,000 plus new Ghana cedis, and 700 plus old Ghana cedis to go on pilgrimage. Today, we are paying not even 600, but 500 plus. Mr. Speaker, we cannot be more grateful than that. Mr. Speaker, when I hear our colleagues on the opposite side talking about cocoa farmers and we have reduced their prices and we are, for God's sake, who are those who changed the bags of the fertilizers, poured them into other bags and sold them out and refused to give it or to sell it to cocoa farmers? You are the people who did it. Are you not the one? Today you want to tell us, that Mr. Speaker, when we talk about agriculture, recently we saw the issue of the Kwalugu Dam, where 11.9 million was spent. The Kwalugu Dam was supposed to help produce tomato for the...
Thank you very much, Honorable Ladi. Honorable members, you take the very last debater, and that is our brother from Nkoko, Honorable Frimpong.
Mr. Speaker, I want to talk about the cocoa farmers and the problem they are facing. The issue is the cocoa is not even bought. They are not paid. The issue is they don't have money to pay them. So cocoa farmers are dropping out of school because of non-payment. Now they carry the cocoa to the clerk and tell him to give you whatever you can. That is the state of the cocoa farmer today. So please, you shouldn't sit here and joke with it. You go to the villages and people are suffering. No money. If you have ever been at the cocoa village before, sometimes the money to buy even medicine for your sick child is not there. So please, you are privileged to be here. don't joke with the sufferings of the cocoa farmers. And then, Mr. Speaker, President said he distributed 720 bears to 13,000 farmers. And when you divide, you get 0.5. I don't know how the president can give half live bird for farmers to rear. So that statement is false. And he was bold to tell us here. So, Speaker, my issue is not about the reduction of the price. If it is even 10 cedis, pay them. You are not paying farmers. That's what my beef is. And in Parliament here, we are also suffering. No money anywhere. And you talk about reduction in inflation. Where is it coming from? If you don't pay, who spends? This is the time that the cocoa money should have boosted the economy. No money. So in the villages, the economy is zero. They are not growing. Nobody is spending. So how do you talk about inflation coming down when you don't spend and you can't even pay MPs and give us our entitlement? You are all suffering, but you won't talk. So please be sincere to yourselves and let's say the truth, and the truth shall set us free. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. And that brings us to the end of today's debate. As we said yesterday, tomorrow is public holiday and members will be traveling to their constituencies to join their assemblies in celebrating the Independence Day. And therefore, we bring proceedings to a close so that members can get ample and enough time to go to their constituencies. So, leadership.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. But I don't think we have done 5 hours yet. We have? No. All right. Mr. Speaker, if we've gone beyond 5 hours, then we are in your hands. Other than that, I was going to move. I thought we've done less than 5 hours. Yeah, thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I didn't know you were going to ask me to move, because I know we haven't done 5 hours and we have to move the motion to adjourn the House. But one announcement, if you will permit me, is that I did indicate in the business statement this morning that we are sitting on Monday and it will be from 10 o'clock to 2 p.m. and we'll close. I just want to reiterate the announcement for members.
Well, honorable members, when you look at the order paper, we see a lot of statements, so many of them. Now we are even dropping some of the statements that has appeared and reappeared on the order paper. So leadership has taken decision that we use Mondays to clear statements and outstanding questions. So we are starting on this coming Monday. We will use Monday to clear all the statements from members and outstanding questions. So that is why we have scheduled Monday for business.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, precisely so. But as you have indicated, we will do clear the backlog. But in order not to kill the momentum of the debate, if time permits, we may continue with the debate as well.
Well, thank you so much.
On that note, I would like to move that we adjourn the House till Monday, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Thank you. Yes.
Speaker, I engage the deputy leader, and I rise to second the motion. However, Speaker, we have to, this is a statement that was adopted by this House, and we are being told now that questions will be done on Monday. But if you look at the statement, it's only statements that have been advertised. So let's emphasize the point that subject to the taking of questions in addition to the statement that has been advertised. We don't want a situation where Monday we come and then say that, well, the business statement doesn't reflect that. So that's important. And then to conclude, Speaker, I'm surprised we have passed the NHI formula. We have also passed the GET fund. DACF, which is a constitutional fund. It is not statutory. Leader, can I have your attention? We have to arrange the administrator to be in the House. The assemblies are crying. Yes. They are crying. Assemblies are crying. So, well, sit down. So, Speaker, I'm simply saying that. No, you are not listening. I'm simply saying that to the. Well, Speaker, let me just conclude. I know we all want to bring the curtains down. But to the extent that we have passed statutory funds, GET fund, formula has been passed, NHI has been passed, and the one that is constitutional, we are dilly-dallying. What is the issue? So, Speaker, I want to implore you, give them some consequential directives. Next week, between Tuesday and Thursday, we should have the administrator in the House. I know you already have some outstanding, some 7.3 billion you have not paid, but that's not why I'm talking. I am talking about the passage of the formula. The formula has to be passed. Yes. I'm also aware that, Speaker, just conclude. I'm also aware that the finance minister stands in excess of some 55% in terms of capital investment. So you're not investing, you're not spending. So they are not spending. That is why there's hardship all over. And you're not encouraging the GET fund administrator, the common fund administrator to bring the formula. Go and bring him. Go and bring him. Whatever means possible, go and bring the administrator of DACF. So that is very, very important. Very, very important.
Very important. I think the administrator was here about 2 weeks ago.
Speaker, let them respond. They can respond.
Anyway.
Speaker, number one, the honorable member, my friend, my brother, my Casford mate, and my counterpart, he was not here when we adopted the business statement. He was not. So I welcome him after the adoption of the business statement. What we did, and as what we did was to engage the Honorable Health Minister, whose questions have been slated for Friday next, to bring it forward for Monday for him to come and respond to. And he's agreed. So subject to those amendments, we adopted the business, and he knows. He's only trying to do a Friday politics on a Thursday. He knows. Then two, the adoption of the formula is within time. We are not out of time. We've adopted 3, or we've adopted 2. It's there with the DACF. We have arrangements are far afoot for him to come next week for that to be done. And he's aware that he wants to do a Friday politics on a Thursday. Regarding the issues with the finance minister, I don't know where he's getting that from. Speaker, he just returned from some cocoa farms, and he was told that they are healthy, they are fine, they are happy. And because of that, he has nothing to say. Speaker, on this note, I second the motion for adjournment.
Honourable members, the motion has been moved and it has been seconded. It is before the House for consideration. And it's my singular honor and task to put the question. And the question is, as many as are in favor that the House adjourn to Monday, 10 o'clock in the forenoon, say aye. All those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The House is accordingly adjourned to Monday, 10 a.m. in the forenoon. The House stands adjourned.